I don't understand what you need 8 pillows on this little
It's
tiny
not
love seat
8,
for. Stop,
there's
that's
4.
uncomfortable.
You're messing up the that. What the heck? Fix the pillow. Fix the pillow.
It's perfect. It's story time. Tell me a story.
Hey guys, so today we decided to do a story time. We're gonna get the, what is it called? Choosing each other's date night outfit, or
Oh yeah, the TJ Maxx $100 date night challenge thing that we got going on. We kind of postponed it a little bit, but
it's been a really busy week.
Yeah.
Last week was just really, really busy for us, so we apologize for not getting a video out last week, but you know, stuff happens.
we can't ever get one video out without somebody's phone going off.
So anywho, we decided to do a story time. This is about the time we went out with friends. We went to was it a football game? Or a baseball game?
I'm not sure.
I think it was a football game. I think it was the
Arena football?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was for the Jacksonville Sharks.
Yeah, this is back in Jacksonville,
Yeah.
Florida. Yeah, so this is back in Jacksonville, Florida. We went to a football game and then we decided to see a movie. We got out of the game around, like 10? So, I mean, it was a pretty late, we got out pretty late, but, you know, like I said, we decided to see a movie. And after the movie, we were all just kind of standing outside talking. It was me, Chantel, our friend Kelsey, and our friend Mark and Josh.
But Mark and I weren't standing out there talking. And so Mark and I were sitting inside the trunk because the trunk is just massive. We were sitting inside the trunk. You couldn't see us.
And so me and my sister, our friend, we were standing outside. We were talking. And this is probably around like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And this is in the parking lot. We're all just talking. And all of a sudden, this black, was it a Durango?
No, it's like a Suburban.
Yeah.
Black Suburban, like old 90s style. Well, I won't say 90s. It was probably early 2000 style Suburban.
It stopped about 2 feet away from us.
Well, no, first it drove by. It drove by and went up and circled on that loop up next to the front door.
Yeah,
and then came back through.
Yeah, so that particular movie theater, there's like a little like loop that you can drop people off. So it like went around in the loop and then it came back. And then it stopped about 2 feet away from where me and my sister and our friend were. And like you said, you can only see us 3. So we're looking and we're like, what is this guy doing? Because he had his lights on. So
he had his high beams on.
Yeah, so we couldn't see him. And he gets out and this guy is in all black. And he's asking us, he's saying he's lost and he's trying to find his friend's house. And so I'm thinking he expected us to walk up to his car to help him, but obviously, like, we're not stupid, so we didn't walk up to his car, so we made him come to us.
But that's exactly what he was trying to do. I mean, like, if you're going to abduct somebody, you know, you use this cover story of like, hey, so I'm lost. Can you come help me look on my phone real quick? Just so that you can get them within arm's reach, and then now you have control. They had been taught better than that. A little bit of self-awareness kind of helped out in this situation, but...
And I mean, you know, and we'll kind of try and paint the story for you guys a little bit better. You know, me and my sister, our friend, we're fairly small women. So this guy, like I said, it was 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, so it's pretty dark in the parking lot. So there weren't many cars out there, and there weren't any security at that time because it was so late. The movie theater was either closed or it was closing soon. Mm-hmm. So there weren't many cars out there. So like I said, so he I'm supposing he expected us to just walk up to him and like help him with directions, but obviously we weren't going to do that. So we're like, okay. He walked closer to us, and as he walked closer to us, he could see Josh and our friend Josh and Mark sitting in the trunk. And so then he kind of like, yeah, you know, I was trying to find this, and you know, my friend, he's so and so and so and so, and as he's talking, he's like on his phone doing this, and you know, this and this, and he was like, he's asking us like what movie we went and saw, and all the while, like, he's talking, me and my sister, our dad made sure we had tasers, because my sister, she works on, well, I mean, we both worked on base, and we both got off really late sometimes, so he wanted to make sure that we had, you know, something to protect ourselves. Even though it is a base, like, you just never know. So,
and these weren't even joking tasers. Like, the way they explained it to you at the shows, they'd say if you hold it on somebody for longer than 3 seconds, they would defecate themselves. And like, her dad was all excited about that. He was like, "Oh!"
Josh and his dad tased himself with the tasers.
we did it. We don't put a taser in a guy's hands and expect them not to test it out. That's the first thing that we want to do.
Cherylle accidentally tased herself, though.
Did she?
She did. I think it was in her purse, and I don't know if she, like, heard it buzzing or or what, but she said she put her hand in it, so she's like...
But, hey, look, so they tell you, like, you start to lose, like, bodily functions and stuff like that. Like, you can't control, like, your muscle spasms and all that stuff. Like, it's crazy. But, so whatever you do, don't shock yourself, because if you shock yourself, you've got to remember, even 1 second of that touching you, you've lost control of your body. So there's no lifting your thumb up off the button. Once it's touching you, it's on. It's not going nowhere. You're going to shock yourself until somebody pries that thing out of your hands.
Yeah, I don't remember how strong they said it was, but a little bit later, maybe I'll go grab it so I can show you guys. But
is it charged?
That's another thing with those things. Like, it runs out of charge eventually, but I mean, it stays charged forever. I'm sure that when I find it, it still has a charge.
So, like, at this time, Cherylle's walking back towards me, and Mark and I are sitting up on the edge of it. And I asked Cherylle where her taser was, because at this point now it's my job, right, to stand up and kind of be the buffer between somebody that's trying to cause harm to, family and friends. So I wanted it as a backup plan. So she's searching through her purse trying to find it and gives.
Well, no, I mean, so we were trying to be as discreet as possible. And so, you know, he's talking and, like, we're all talking, but, like, she was getting hers out. I got mine out, slid it to Josh, and Mark was just kind of, like, you know, standing there, like, trying to be, like, threatening or whatever. And he, again, like I said, he's just on his phone, like, just doing all this and, like, trying to make conversation. And
while he said he's looking for a text message to show you what the address was, and so like
and
at this point I've called on and I'm like, bro, it don't take you 25 minutes to scroll through your phone like this, and you're just going like this, up and down. You've clicked on a couple of things. You know what your buddy's number is. Now you're lying. What are you trying to cover up?
And so as he's doing that, like, I was pretending that I was doing something on my phone, and I actually, like, snapped a few pictures of him. But as he's doing all this, all of a sudden, another car pulls up, like, in the spot, like, right next to us, and
empty parking lot.
It's an empty parking lot. Again, 1-2 o'clock in the morning, so parking lot's pretty desolate. There's, like, our car, their car, and maybe, like, 3 other cars, like, all over the parking lot. So parking lot's pretty much empty, and he, like, these 2 guys pull up in the spot right next to where we are, and then they sit there for a minute, and they, like, kind of look around, and then they pull out, and we're like
as soon as they pulled up, though, because I'm already facing that guy, you know, I'm trying to block it, so I'm already facing him, and then I see them pull up, and so now I've turned my body so that I'm angled, and I've taken a step back as well, so that I've got more time to respond. And I'm watching both. I'm watching the car and I'm watching him, and I'm trying to keep an eye on both. I'm keeping that diagonal view, just so I can make sure I know what's going on at all times. And
I think so. Honestly, okay. So here is our theory on what was going on.
Cherylle was going to be taken. Chantel was going to be taken. Kelsey was going to be taken. Me and Mark were going to have to use our unique set of skills in order to get them back.
No, that's not. That was not. No, okay. So our theory was it was either they were trying to kidnap us or they were trying to rob us, and
they were trying to kidnap them.
And they're, like, those guys again, not knowing that Josh and Mark were there, just assumed that, it was just me and my sister and Kelsey. And like, he was like, while he's doing all this, we think he was like maybe texting them like, no, 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 like abort, abort, abort. But obviously they didn't get the message until they pull up and they see Mark and Josh. And then they just left. So like I said, we're pretty sure it was either they were trying to rob us or trying to kidnap us. Don't know. And we, my dad, because he's retired military, or he's retired Navy, a lot of the police officers that worked at the mall on the weekends are his friends. So I think the next...
One of them was a lieutenant.
Yeah. The next weekend we talked to him, and, because I had gotten a picture of the guy, and I got a pretty good picture. I don't know, can we show that? So we showed him, and he was like, oh yeah, he was like, this guy comes in all the time. And he was like, yeah, that's really weird. And he was like, he'd never he never had anybody complain about him like that or anything, but he was like, he'll definitely keep an eye out, whatever.
And that's the wild thing about it, right? So if LT says that he sees that guy in there all the time, and then he just randomly shows up in the middle of the night, and it's like, I don't know where I'm going. Bro, you were 2 blocks away from where you were supposed to be going to, where you said you were going. You knew exactly how to get there. All you had to do was get on 295 and go. That's it. It was 2 blocks up. They were playing games. And like in Jacksonville, like there's areas that aren't so safe.
I mean, anywhere you go, you're always going to have like...
Yeah. Every big city has its areas that you don't play around at, in the middle of the night. And so Jacksonville, the mall, Orange Park Mall, you don't hang around there at nighttime.
And I mean, like with Jacksonville and Orange Park area, like it wasn't. I mean, it's gotten kind of bad, but at that time it wasn't. And I mean, I guess it's still not the worst.
Yeah,
no,
absolutely
area.
not. No, the worst mall is what is that, Regency? Yeah, it's massive mall, the biggest mall there, and it ain't got no stores in it.
But that particular theater that we were at, it's had a lot of issues, especially on the weekends. Lesson in the story: don't stand in the parking lot and talk for. I mean, it's like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, it's probably smarter for you to just go to a friend's house or just get in the car and talk if you want to talk. So that's our little story time of when, we were almost kidnapped. Also, another tip, ladies, anybody, just always pay attention to your surroundings. Like always be vigilant, always be paying attention. If you can help it, don't be by yourself at night, like late at night. But if you can't, then again, just be super vigilant. Don't put yourself in a situation where...
Look for an exit.
Yeah. Don't put yourself in a situation where somebody, like if you are alone, like again, my sister and I, we both worked on Navy base, and we both got out like sometimes 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
And look, before any of you comment down below that it's on a Navy base, it's safe. Crime still happens on a Navy base. I can promise you. So I'm a sapper VA for the Navy, sexual assault prevention and response, right? So I'm a victim advocate, and what that means is if somebody's sexually assaulted, I'm there to make sure that they get the resources that they need. The fact that we have to create a title like that, a position like that, just goes to show you that it's not safe on a military base like you think it is. Like you think that this... As a civilian, when you see a military base, you think it's this massive, grandiose, civilization on there where everybody's, in utopia. That's not what happens. The police on the base, they get a lot of working out too. So there's some creepy dudes that hang out at the Liberty Centers and the bowling alleys. Heck, so we'll have to tell you this story later. A different time. But Cherylle was getting hit on at the bowling alley, not only by sailors and Marines, but some older guys that were asking to be her sugar daddy. And we only lived like 2 minutes from the base, so I'd have to hop in the car and speed up there as fast as I could to make sure that they saw my face, because most of the people in the bowling alley knew who I was anyway. So
and Chantel, like both Chantel and I have stories about like stalkers, guys who just don't get it, and like this is something that we both had to learn. It's like you can't be too friendly, like you have to like keep it professional, because it can be taken, you being like friendly and just being normal like can be taken differently. Like it, especially
by single sailors.
Yeah, it's just taken a completely different way. So
they're stuck in the barracks. The single sailors most of the time are stuck in the barracks. They're 18, 19 years old. They don't have a car yet. Half of them don't even have a driver's license yet. So they don't have a means of getting around besides Uber or their friends if they have friends. And so they hang out in the common areas, the exchange, all the MWR facilities, the gym, the pool, the Liberty Center, the bowling alley, like whatever the base has, that's where they're hanging out at because they don't have to pay any money to go there. So it's not to say that all of them are like that, but
you just kind of have to you have to treat everybody the same. I mean, you can't, because you don't know, like, until you like get to know people and you start getting regulars and you start figuring, I mean, even then you still kind of have to keep it, you have to keep it professional, because like you said, especially on a military base, the mindset's different, like their mindset is different. So yeah, it's not to say that a Navy base is unsafe or any base is unsafe, but it's you've got human beings, like they're human beings, so
it's as safe as you living out in town. I can promise you that it's exactly the same, because if a shooting pops off on a military base, it's going to take the military police the same amount of time to respond to that incident as it's going to take civilian police to respond to your incident. Well, that kind of got sidetracked there at the end, but anyway, so that's the time that Cherylle just about got taken, and that would have been taken 3 at the time, but now taken 3 is already out. So
anyway, oh yeah, guys, look at the flowers that Josh got me.
They're a little old now.
But aren't they pretty?
It's because I'm messed up. That was a ripoff, by the way. Not to say that buying my wife flowers is a ripoff. She's worth it. But I went on Groupon, because even when when you're trying to be sweet, when you're trying to be nice and chivalrous and all these other things that make you a gentleman, right? You can still be frugal with your money and be smart with it, right? So because if you do that, if you do that while you're being sweet, then you can be sweet more often, because now you have more money to be sweet. I was trying to be frugal, and I went on there and I got a coupon for 1-800-Flowers.com, and yes, they did get a bad review from me on this because I was very frustrated. Coupon for half off of a $30 bouquet, and I was like, oh, that's a deal. I'm in trouble. I can get some flowers and I can get them half off. This is a win-win, right? The wife's going to be happy and I saved money. I get on there, bought the coupon, go to the website, plug it all in, and I initially wanted to get her a teddy bear looking thing, and it would have been another $20 because it was $50, but it was a teddy bear made out of flowers. It was really cute, and she loves stuffed animals, so I thought that was going to be awesome. She would have loved it. I was expecting just the $20 extra, right? Nope. No, see, there's fine print, and then there's like really fine print. And the really fine print says that there's a service charge. And what they don't tell you is that the service charge is the exact amount of money that you saved by using that coupon. That was a straight up ripoff, and I didn't have a choice. I had gotten got, because once you click view voucher so that you can get your code, you can no longer return it. So, and I only had 3 more days to use that voucher. So I got got by 1-800-Flowers on Groupon. Stay away from it. Look, this is what happens in Portsmouth.
We had freaking fire trucks.
Anytime that there's a sound that's happening, because we're on a dead-end street too, but most of the people on our street, we kind of watch out for each other, so it's great. It's one way in, honestly, and it's honestly just one way out too, but there's 2 alleys that you can split. But if you're trying to speed through them, you're going to jack your car up pretty quick. Especially since one of them has a hairpin 90 turn. Any sound we pay attention to. Anyway, but all right, guys, so we're gonna wrap it up. That is story time. That's the time that Cherylle just about got taken. Chantel just about got taken, and Kelsey just about got taken. And Mark and I would have had to play Liam and get the girls back.